All right, everybody, welcome back to the Paperless Movement YouTube channel. I'm Tom Solid, and today I will talk to Anatoly Burov. He's actually one of the founders of Timestripe. And as you might have seen, I reviewed Timestripe already on this channel and had a lot to discover and also to mention here. And we will discuss one or a few of these parts that I discovered here in this interview. So I'm really excited to have Anatoly on the show. And I think without further ado, let's dive into this. All right, Anatoly, thank you very much for being on the show.
Hi. Hello, thank you for inviting.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And I cannot wait to learn more about Timestripe. But for all of these people who haven't seen the review on my channel or never heard about Timestripe, maybe you tell us a bit more about you and what Timestripe is all about.
So, I'm a co-founder and the chief technical officer of Timestripe. This is a new generation tool for planning your goals, from daily goals to lifetime goals. So this is a goal-oriented planner. So we're building the tool based on the idea that the lifetime goals should define actually what we are doing today, and that our today's perspective should be a reflection of what is going to be in your life. So we built this planner tool just to tackle this issue of short-term and long-term planning, to put it all into one single tool.
Yeah, and during the review, I saw this already, and I really like the approach there. I mean, there are a few out there saying it's not the right way to actually set goals. You should be dynamic and so on. I'm thinking differently. I think it is just the way we set goals. So the goals should be realistic. And then it's important to set a goal ahead of time. And I'm talking about far ahead of time. And looking at Timestripe, you can actually plan out your whole life, even until you die. So, or even until you think that I would die. We will come to this later. But this is something I really like. And I just listened to another podcast recently, and I cannot remember the name of the person who came up with this. But she actually wrote out a script for herself as her future self in 5 years. So she was, imagining what will be in 5 years. Then she was writing out what life in 5 years is about. And then she was reading out this and recording herself on video, telling herself in the right and now, what will happen in 5 years. And this keeps her motivating to reach this goal. And when we talk about goals, I think this is exactly the right thing, and so many do wrong. They have January, New Year, and they set a goal for the year, and then either it gets forgotten, or, it's never achieved, or even worse, if you set a goal in 10 years and then, 10 years later you realize, oh, there was something I wanted to do. So getting back to Timestripe, you do this, what I also recommend to my inner circle members when it comes to goals. I always say, set a goal ahead of time and then reverse engineer how you will achieve this goal. So you cut it down into smaller goals in different parts, like years, month, week, day. And this is exactly what we have in Timestripe. And then you follow these smaller steps and milestones in order to achieve the ultimate goal that you set ahead of time. So looking at Timestripe, there's a free access, isn't it? So we can use Timestripe for free. So whoever wants to check this out, go to timestripe.com and you can check out what it is all about. But what I see, there's something you call horizons. And this is split into today, week, month, year, and life. And I can set goals in each compartment. Like I set a goal for, if I talk about this reverse engineering, I set it into my life. And then I look what in which year I need to achieve another goal in order to get into this direction, monthly goal, weekly goal, and so on. And now I just want to tackle one issue right away that I also mentioned in the review already. If I set a goal for the year and I break it down into months and days, and I decide to move this for 2 years later, what about all the goals that I set into the different compartments like month and week and so on? Though they stay stuck in the place where they are. So this is the first one. And this also points me to the next thing, that actually setting a goal a year ahead disconnects the other goals from this goal. I know there are tags that we can use, and we can, have a look at all my goals for a certain tag. But still, if I would have expected that when I set a year goal and then I set monthly goals, that I could connect to the yearly goal. And whenever I go to the yearly goal, I will see all the sub goals and the dates and things that I planned out for this yearly goal and life goal ultimately. All right, it's your turn. It was long talk here now.
This is actually one of the tricky parts you found. So surely right now in Timestripe the goals are not connected to each other. So we plan them independently somehow. However, we always keep in mind that the steps from today are the steps towards a bigger goal in the future. So the idea is that if you need to move a goal like 2 years ahead, it would be quite difficult to plan on the more minute details like daily goals or weekly goals in that much time ahead. And the idea is that you can use the sub-horizons views, like daily views and monthly views, to see the nearest future in terms of the exact time period you select. So like you can see the whole week of days ahead, or the several years ahead. But these are like different axes that you follow when you're point your attention to the particular planning scale, so to say.
The thing is, if somebody, if you looked at Timestripe, I really like the innovative way that you present time and goals. And, also you have this calendar view where you see your whole life, and this strikes through what you already experienced and how much lays ahead of time and things like this. This gives you more awareness about your own life. Also, I like this overview view where we will see also, whenever I'm 70 years old, you show me other people who reached this age and what they achieved in their age, motivational quotes and things like this. So in general, I like the idea how you connect the goals that we set to my life. So I'm more aware what goals I set and when, and see the whole scope of time that I still have and things like this. But this being said, it is when it comes to productivity and also for what is capable nowadays, looking at other tools like, ClickUp, for example. Use ClickUp or any other tool where you have tasks and subtasks. So in ClickUp, for example, I can create a task and give it a due date. So this would be, in this case, now my goal with a due date 1 year ahead. And I can create subtasks, let's say 12 subtasks for each month, and set different due dates in these months, which would become automatically then already the day due date, because you have a daily goal, you have a weekly goal, you have a monthly goal. So I would have, whenever a goal is on a particular day, obviously it is also in this week and in this month. So when I move this main task and change the due date, ClickUp will ask me if I want to move the subtasks accordingly or should they stay where they are. And this is just the feedback from my end that I got lost When I had simple goals. I mean, it makes sense when I have one ultimate goal that I want to achieve and I break it down in some smaller goals and so on. I might be able to keep track of this. But as soon as I have something more complex, and as you're already providing tags to have this split into different types of projects or goals, this becomes really hard to keep track of everything. So you're not planning to connect these in a more, I would say, advanced way.
Well, actually, we released the new version yesterday.
Right.
Yesterday.
Good timing. Just after my review.
And we rolled out the thing we wanted ourselves the most, and that was actually quite a requested feature. So you know that we have all, besides the time-oriented scheduling, we have also boards with custom lists of to-do items, and these can be just anything like the movies to watch, or the books to read, or the things to do in a project. And actually, we have our own roadmap built into with Timestripe boards. And yesterday we launched the feature that allows connecting the goals from the boards with concrete periods in time. So you may have a list of films to watch, and you can select a film you want to watch today or this week, and you can link it to the particular date. And this actually works in the reverse direction as well. So for a goal from today,
you have a backlink then on the goal.
Yeah, you can add it back to some custom board. So this is the way to have everything organized across time and across, well, semantics, the area of life.
So this sounds already a step into the right direction to me. But I can't see it now on Timestripe. So I'm on Timestripe right now, and I cannot see that I can connect this. Maybe I need to update something, or I don't know. But but if you do this, this is already something useful, yet redundant to me. Because I would have expected to have only years down to days and no custom boards. This can come later, but why not connecting the goals that I have already on this Timestripe with each other, but only with lists that I have in the custom boards? I don't really get it. So let's say I want to read 100 books, and I have a list with 100 books. So you saying that whenever I create a new item in my books list, I can connect this item to my goal that is related to this. I like this. This is approach that you have in all the productivity tools as well, like Asana, ClickUp, and all the others, where you set company goals and then you define different tasks that work towards this goal. So you have an overview of this. And I think that's the idea behind this here as well. But still, I don't understand why I can't connect other goals with each other.
Well, actually, we have this on our roadmap.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
Sorry, I didn't say it in the first place. Yeah, I should have. Well, we have this on our roadmap, and we even have the design for this part, but we haven't yet came to this.
Yeah, okay.
But step by step, we will come to this, to have the goals and sub-goals. Because, right now there is a possibility to
have sub-goals.
Sub-goals,
yeah.
Yes. And the next obvious step would be to be able to get those sub-goals and move them to horizons.
Exactly.
And, this is what we are coming to.
Oh, right. Okay. So maybe there was a misunderstanding then, because good that you mentioned these sub-goals. This is exactly what I meant. You're providing already a lot of things that I can do. So, but I have to choose what I pick. Do I make sub goals and goals? Do I make extra goals in days? Or do I put the goal into months and then it doesn't appear in the day view? And this is, this is then confusing. So, yeah. So if you have the goals in your year and you have the sub goals below, and you give the due dates to these sub goals, which would be down to the day, isn't it? Then I should see them appearing on all the other views as well. So they should start to appear on the week view and on the month view and on the yearly view. Is that correct? Right now I see it only on the day view, but not in the week on the monthly view, isn't it?
Well, that depends. Actually, that depends on the goal itself, because some goals are to be achieved like a single to-do item during the day, but other goals cannot be achieved this way, and these are kind of meta goals that consist of smaller steps, and this is why they are to be put into a month or years segment. But yes, we will be able to have the goals interlinked with each other.
So I think, that was the most important thing, that we have something like Roam Research and Notion, and all of them have backlinks, and this is just a thing. And from a technical point of view, I mean, you have to implement the connections. For the tools that I just mentioned before, the connections were already there. They had just to surface it to make it on the front end visible. But here you have to establish the connections first, isn't it? So there's a lot more work to be done in order to implement this. So have you any idea what Timestripe we are talking about when it comes to publishing connections between goals?
Well, actually, from the technical point of view, this is not that difficult. Well, me as a CTO, I think in structures and systems. So this is quite simple. But the reason we didn't implement it yet, because we do care a lot about design, the user experience.
And this is awesome. I really like this appearance and simplistic view, and so this is totally ticking boxes here. So sorry, carry on.
Thank you. So we want to keep it this way, and actually one of our goals is to provide people a way to declutter the mind, because we already have a lot of internet connected stuff in our heads, and this can get quite messy. And what we want to do is to provide a nice framework to help thinking and planning, because this will help actually achieving the goals. So this connection of the goals in between them, we want to make it as simple as possible, not to just add more mess and more connections into the interface, because it may lead to the thing about the bankruptcy, like inbox bankruptcy, or to-do list bankruptcy, where you cannot handle it anymore and you need to.
But this is exactly what I have the feeling now. Now I'm again at the connections, but I'm taking off work from the shoulders of the people, manually updating and tracking the information that I added there. This is exactly what happens then. I set some goals over the years, and then I try to make sub goals. But the important thing here is that I learned I need to use tags in order to connect these goals with each other. And and then let's say in 10 years ahead, I want to have a major goal, and I reverse engineer this backwards. This will be already coming down to a lot of sub goals. So I think about the yearly goals for these 10 years, and then I think about the monthly goals, which is 10 times 24, and then I have the weekly goals, which is even more, and then we come down to the daily goals, which is then tasks in the end of the day. So this can be really cluttering up things instead of simplifying things, and especially, but you mentioned this already, having this goal and then the sub goals below, so we have one overview of everything that is related to each other. So this is what you want to do with the text anyway, isn't it? So I can go to text and then
Yeah, sure.
I see the goals down there, right? For people out there, they really need to check out Timestripe for themselves because it's a really unique way how you look at this stuff. And again, I want just to say that it's a really great approach when I'm here on the horizons and I'm switching, for example, days, and I come into a next week, everything else gets updated, so the next week is showing. Yeah, you have to check this out, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify on the question you asked about the timeline. So actually, the things are moving pretty fast, and I expect these sub goals feature quite soon, maybe in half a year.
That's good. So you are working on other things then in the meantime, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
what else do you have on your roadmap, and what plans do you have for Timestripe?
Yeah, well, our major direction we have, well, we have several directions actually. One of the major ideas for us is the so-called Timestripe community, because people are creating a lot of things that are valuable and shareable with other people. So we want to be able to allow people to share their boards with the goals, their ideas about productivity, about well, actually anything in their life, and step-by-step guides for I don't know, some cognitive journaling and
so you're talking essentially about something that is already available, which is the climbs. We didn't even talk about this yet. So for all of those who don't know, climbs is essentially, how I understand this, adding you pre-defined goals. For example, in 30 days, you want to have each day a meditation. Okay, you want to make the habit of meditation. So it is just 30 steps ahead of time. It's every day a meditation goal or task. And you can keep track of this if you had a goal or not. I like this. That's a different layer that puts on top of this. And you're saying that you're looking for the community to be able to add to these climbs library that it is already there?
Yes, exactly. But not only this. Well, regarding the climbs, we have different climb types, probably, because, well, there are simple climbs like these 30 days of meditation. Well, not so simple, actually. I tried this myself, and but there could be even more complex climbs, like Introduction to Cognitive Journaling, that we have created with our editor, and this is some rich content. Well, this really a new format for guides, because it has some explanations and directions and tasks to do each day to achieve the goal of learning a new skill. Or also we have a history of design climb that that allows people to learn the history of the whole 20th century of design in small daily chunks. So
it's essentially like challenges when other people make challenges, these 30-day, I don't know, weight loss challenges or whatever. This is what you can set up for yourself in Timestripe. So yeah, I like the idea behind this. And also that you give some guidance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the idea is that, well, right now we have a set of editors and we have created the climbs ourselves, but we want to give people the tool to build climbs for others and to share them with the community.
Yeah, I can see that. So for example, I could set up, and you call it climbs, I would set up a challenge for become more productive in 30 days challenge or whatever, and I can predefine the different steps per day, and then people can just download this on their Timestripe and get going. Interesting.
Yeah. Or probably we have a course on like foreign language course.
Yeah.
So and you have media materials like audio and videos and some tasks. So and people can go and subscribe to that client and follow, have these daily tasks in this framework of a broader goal.
Yeah. So talking about this brings me to another point when I was reviewing this. In order to actually keep track of goals and they update it, to me, I'm always looking for tools that I can access from any device that I'm using.
Oh.
So the good start is that you have a web-based application, so I can actually access it from anywhere. And you also show that, how we can create an app more or less, downloading it. So this works as well. But are there any plans to create native applications? Or, for example, for me, very important, Apple Watch compilation?
Oh, well, actually, this is probably number one feature request we get since day one.
Yeah, of course. I think everybody who is not leveraging the Apple Watch is missing out when it comes to creating habits or grocery lists or whatever. This is just something that I'm always looking for, to see some progress on my Apple Watch during the day.
Yeah, and especially when Timestripe is actually all about the time. So this we have this connection to the physical world. This is not just an abstract to-do list. So yes, well, this is actually what we have been working on already several months, and soon we have this application coming to App Store.
Now we are talking.
Yeah, I don't want to
I know.
set expectations, because things are really tricky with applications.
Yeah.
And when we figure them all out, we will have the application in the App Store. And actually, this is also what we wanted ourselves the most, because, we are using Timestripe for our daily, day-to-day tasks, and for even for project management. We manage Timestripe in Timestripe.
Yeah, that would have been another question, because for some other tools, I'm not talking about Timestripe, but for other tools, I always wonder if actually the developers using the tools on themselves, but not only the developers, because I think you understand this best. Developers have a bit different thinking when it comes to using the tools than the actual user in the end of the day. So also the marketing manager and everybody else should use the tool they're actually marketing. And I have the feeling in many cases it's not the case. Otherwise they would figure out how struggling it is to use the tool. Yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, my wife uses Timestripe, and I learn about the new bugs or some inconveniences from the first hand. So I cannot actually.
So she has. Also, I have to call your wife in order to get the right features into the tool.
I think you will get a totally different perspective, because I know the philosophy behind Timestripe, and we developed the Timestripe with our own thinking, how the things are done. But we are constantly getting new surprises of how people find new ways of using the Timestripe. So we are actually ourselves very pleased to see how generic it became. Like it can. At first, it was only musings on the depth and limitness of the life.
Yeah.
But now people do amazing stuff in Timestripe.
Yeah. So the thing that I wanted to ask, you setting goals, but it is not a rich content editor, so I can't add images, isn't it, to these things? So you really about reaching the goal, but then not really reflecting the goals later on, which would be obvious to actually have in Timestripe. And I was thinking about alternatives or similar tools. And instead of thinking of a project manager or task manager, I was rather thinking about Day One, for example. So that's the journaling tool that I'm using to have, for one simple reason, I'm always amazed to see then what happened on the same day 1 year ago or 3 years ago. And I see the list of the information that I wrote into there for the same day 1 year ago, 3 years ago, how long I'm using this. And when you talk about journaling and using Timestripe for journaling, then to me it's a bit restricting because I can write down text, yes, and I can make normal journaling. But Day One really allows me to throw anything in there, anything I like PDFs, videos, audio recordings, what you like. And this makes more sense for me than to have a reflective journal instead of an action journal. So I'm not using Day One in order to plan my goals or go ahead of time. This is always past. So people are in my Inner Circle membership and they know the ICO framework. Everything has its purpose for me. So I use the tools only to the most potential to be highly effective with any tool that I use. So this is why I use combinations of tools instead of workarounds inside a tool that, I have a half-baked solution. So I worry a bit that, and maybe you can clarify this, that the vision of Timestripe is really clear because you talked now about climbs and you talk about project management and you talk about a bit of this and you talk a bit about this. So maybe you can clarify for us again the vision and what you want Timestripe to become in the future as the main tool for. So one more example, Todoist is a task manager and I can tick off boxes. That's what I can do with Todoist. I'm not doing it for anything else. But this is why Todoist is perfect for me because they optimize the things that they are supposed to do. They are available on every device. I can access it anytime. It's reliable and so on. And what I saw in the past for many tools trying to be all in one, they lose over the time. Like ClickUp, they went back and said, okay, we are not a tool for everything now, but we want to be the place to work, for, where your work lives. So they changed their wording already because they maybe realized it's not really a good idea to be the all-in-one solution. So just tell us, is Timestripe supposed to be an all-in-one solution or just part of a set of tools?
Well, this is a tricky question, actually.
I was talking long, so you had you had time to think about this.
Yeah. Actually, regarding some of the features you mentioned, some of them we have like the basic versions of them, like the reflection part is done with the calendar view, another mode. But it is somewhat rudimentary, and we of course wanted to become more advanced. And I think that what we want to do with Timestripe is to make it the single space that allows to think big about the goals, about the lifetime goals, and the single space to actually do something today to achieve these goals. So this all is actually the all of the features that we have in our roadmap are focused on that goal. So yeah, we do have some ideas about the reflections mode and how it may be elaborated and more useful for people. And actually in yesterday release, we had made the text editor even more advanced. We put there the links. And our next step in that direction would be putting pictures and other media files. Of course, yeah, with the climbs, we want to allow people to help other people or to get help from other people in achieving particular goals like getting fit or getting happier or acquiring a specific skill.
Yeah.
So this is all about the long-term planning and short-term planning. And of course, I think that we are going in that direction of becoming the ultimate tool for all this planning.
Yeah. Okay, so big ambitions here, and but I like the small steps that you are taking, and you think about each step. I see that already, and I saw, and this wasn't mentioned yet. I saw also the insights of the day. So maybe you can say a few words about this, what you're going there with. But I just wanted to go and stay with this direction. So you say about the ultimate goal and so on, but what I always wonder, looking, for example, at Notion, they want to be the all-in-one solution, but I always say, why try to be the all-in-one solution? Why not enabling the connection to the tools that are better in what they try to be? And, so I can leverage the databases from Notion, but I still can use my task manager somewhere else. And here again, as well, I haven't seen any API yet or anything where I can connect my tools. Is there so for example, I set my major goals and I don't have to look them up every day. But when it goes down to my daily goals, they should show up on my to-doist, for example. So I could tick off the to-doist task and it gets ticked off there. So I don't need to go into Timestripe all the day, and you will reach a much broader audience this way, isn't it? So what are your thoughts on this or plans?
This is also very interesting goals to pursue. And
maybe you set it into your Timestripe now.
Actually, we do have we have already made small steps towards this direction. We have the connection to Google Calendar and Apple Calendar.
Okay, you have
to. This is yet one-way connection, so you can add.
You can show goals. It's not a two-way connection, but this is really the thing. I'm living on my Google Calendar, and it's a two-way synchronization with my Todoist. So obviously, I'm working in my Google Calendar, and I can move around the stuff. So knowing that I don't start, because if I hate something, and what I always say to never do is duplicating information. You will end up in a big mess where you have unfinished tasks and all over the place. So you have to build up your single source of truth. And either you have a application where you only live in. And, don't get me wrong. I'm very complex. I have a day job. I have my business. I have loads of different projects and all this. Timestripe is too limiting to only stay in Timestripe. But I would love to use it. So I'm thinking of using personal goals or things like that to track in there.
Of course, this is something we would like to make. Of course, we although we want Timestripe to be all-one solution for every single task you can imagine, I personally don't believe that this is possible because, all people are different and the situations are different and the needs may require some particular features that nobody's able to implement. There are contradictive features, like somebody wants A, somebody wants B. We have these arguments on our team as well. Like somebody wants the goals to have colors, and somebody says that, no, this will make Timestripe like a Christmas tree. Don't do that.
So but then it's more important to actually ask the community what they want, isn't it? So I guess you ask your community. So how do you do this? Do you do surveys and asking, what feature do you want to see next, or what is missing? What is driving you into the right direction?
Actually, we receive a lot of feedback on email, on social media, in Instagram, on Twitter, and actually the feedback is enormous, and there are lots of good words about Timestripe, and of course there is a lot of feature requests, and various people explain us how they organize stuff, and we truly appreciate that. So actually, so far we didn't like go in the wild to ask our customers what they are doing. We did a series of cast dev calls with our power users, but so we get this general idea of how Timestripe is used and what people want to have, and we have a huge backlog of these features and minor details. So we try to keep it organized and focused, because actually this is quite simple to just get it. And
because this is actually leading to an all-in-one solution that you want to build there, and in the end it will end up with a half-baked solution. So I really,
but we're afraid.
We should be always, as you know, it's the same for my business and for the Inner Circle member and the Paperless movement and so on. If my members know that I reach out and have specific surveys going on, where I ask certain questions, and those are then data-driven information. Because I have one-on-one calls as well, I get a lot of feedback as well, and I get great ideas out of this. Don't get me wrong, this is very important to have. But in order to make the right decision and prioritization of what feature, with the limited resources we have, to do next, I think data-driven information is more important. This is why I asked if you have any surveys going on or any way to prioritize what ideas you actually collected there. Or is it only 3 people using Timestripe and you can't have a significant impact?
No, actually we are, at first when we built Timestripe, when we started to build Timestripe, we all were designers, and we can make products, and like we know how to build things, but whether these are the right things to build, it is a different question, actually. Exactly. So at first we were led by our own gut feelings for what we personally needed, or what our friends asked us about, and but recently we started to look into the actual data. We connected the analytics. We invited people who understand analytics to help us with the key metrics and so on. Yeah. And so now we are actually performing different minor experiments with which steps will lead to better value for our users, because we do have this problem of transferring the value of Timestripe, because when I explain what Timestripe is to my friends, they actually fall in love with it, because I can tell them, like, look here and look there, you can do this and that, and they find they start to share this excitement and passion, and they become power users of Timestripe. But we have this problem: we want to transfer this feeling and this value to everybody, but still we have a lot of things to do.
I think that's really something I had to learn as well. It's a difference if I tell my friends and family, or also my users on YouTube and so on about something where I'm personally very excited about, and I translate it in a different way than a new customer didn't talk to anybody testing out Timestripe. And this is when I mean, if you don't hold their hand and guide them through the tool in some way or form, by email or whatever, to show them how to use it and have a, I think this is the reason why webinars are all over the place and things like that. So you get really into this and get this hype of whatever is going on there. And this is what I had the feeling that there's still a bit of a disconnection, and learning about that you published custom boards and, before connecting the goals with each other and so on. This is why I was asking so deeply into this, because it is just a personal thing that I want to tell you. But if I were you, I would have all, 3 things that we want to change. We are capable to do this within a half a year. But why not sending out these 3 things to your existing customers and ask them, which of these 3 things would you need next? Do you do this already because you're nodding? Or because then you know exactly what you should do next, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. And actually we have our roadmap full of various exciting features, but we don't have the hands to implement them.
Yeah, that's why I say, we tell you, why don't you tell your existing customers, we have a lot of ideas. Look here, this is the list of the ideas, and not more than 3 or 5 things that you put out there, and let them decide what you should do next by percentage of answers.
We don't do this publicly, but we do listen to our customers' feedback over email and other channels. But the idea is that if this is the only source of information about where to go, it will not lead to new places. And we would like to discover new places, like the idea of climbs. This could not be brought from an external source.
No,
this is what
I wasn't talking about complete new features. I mean, about the improvements that you made. You made the list and the connection and so on. This is what you just published yesterday. This is what I mean. So, but never mind. So obviously, it sounds negative. It's not. It was just something that I had on my mind, and I will watch Timestripe closely, because it is a different approach on looking at things. And I'm excited to see new updates coming. I hope we stay in contact and we get you on the show again once we have new exciting outcomes there. So is there anything you want to share with the community before we close the interview?
I would like to say thank you for the feedback and for the ideas of the things you would like to have on Timestripe. And I have made a list of them, and we will certainly discuss them. And I'm sure most of them will be reflected in the product one way or another. So thank you for the feedback and for the ideas. It's totally positive.
And if anybody listening to this also got ideas, feel free, go to the comments below. Let us know on the YouTube channel or on the YouTube video of this interview. What do you think? What your ideas are? I'm sure that you will check them out. That's the best source to grow, obviously.
Absolutely, yes. And please share your ways of using Timestripe, or the things you would like to have on Timestripe to actually have a all-in-one solution, just in case.
Yeah, just in case. We will see. All right. Thank you very much, and have a great time.
Thank you, Tom. It's been a pleasure.